Alright, I'm going to do a quick little video today on like prepper guns or EDC guns or however you want to look at it. And I've got a few here. First off, this is a Colt Python. It's clear, but really representing any 357 or 38. They're really good guns, really good power, really good accuracy, and the ammo is pretty available for it, but you're limited to only 6 rounds, and they're a lot more delicate. Revolvers are pretty reliable, but if you do have a problem, you're going to usually need some serious stuff to fix it with versus some other guns. So we'll move that out the way. Then you have a tried and true 1911 45 ACP, which is a very good gun. They do have some weight to them, and some of them are not very reliable. I haven't had that problem with this one. It's always been reliable. And it does have night sights. That's a big thing that I like. And it also has a rail, is another big thing that I like. But it's still not my go-to gun. You're still limited to 8 rounds in a magazine, 1 in chamber. And you can get some extended magazines, but then you have a little more reliability issues. And still it's only like 10 plus 1, something like that. So that's not my go-to either. Have a snub nose 44 Magnum Ruger. This is a really good gun. It is really heavy. You can change out the front sight very easy, but you're limited 6 rounds and a lot of recoil in that snub nose form, although it doesn't kick as bad as I thought it was going to. This is good for something like bear country or that sort of thing. But if I had my choice, I believe I would go with the Glock 20 10mm. I don't have one of those yet, but it's on my wish list. But is a good gun. 44 Magnum is a little bit harder to find, and it's definitely more expensive to be able to shoot and train with and that type of thing. But anyway, I have this. I've carried this for a while. I had it on my logger EDC video. This is a Sig SP 2022. I like the double action with the hammer. It's a little bit more safety. And it does have night sights and a rail. I have an O-light on here. Really good gun, pretty good trigger. It doesn't weigh a lot. This frame is polymer, but it's still not my number one go-to prepper type gun. The magazines are a little harder to find and they're more expensive. They're probably like 40-50 bucks for an extra magazine, which I do have 2 of. And I carried it in this We Bear Arms holster, Appendix V style, and it's okay, but it's not my favorite holster by far. It has a single clip. I like a double clip, and I like the Tier 1 design where it bends in the middle better. And back here, it's not very comfortable, so I just took this pad and paracord, fixed it up on there, but it's still not my favorite, so I pretty much went ahead and retired it. It's a good gun. I wish that there was more holster options for it, but I couldn't find very many in Appendix. And I messaged Tier 1, and they don't make one for it yet, but they may in the future. But anyway, and it brings it back to Glock G19. This is my current everyday carry, and I like it a lot. I carry it in this Tier 1 Axis Elite. It's cut for the light. I like this better than the this is the Aegis. I think I said Axis, but this is the Aegis Elite. I like it better than the Axis because right here it's snapped together and there's nothing digging in, where on the Aegis with that the Axis with that shock cord, it's got an adjustment right there and it does stick in you. I do have night sights on here. I put the aftermarket True Glow. I like those better than, it's empty. I like those better than the 19X with the factory night sights. It just seems like you can pick up these a little better, and they set up a little higher, like if you had to snag it on your belt and rack it back. But I like the 19X for like a go to war type thing. I keep that on my war belt usually. I use this for every day because it's a little bit smaller. The good thing about it, the light is interchangeable, and I have this and this, and my wife has a 19 as well. So we got magazine interchangeability, parts interchangeability, that kind of stuff. And if you go to like glockstore.com, they have all kind of aftermarket parts and like factory replacement parts for pretty cheap, and you can just stock up on those to have for an emergency. You can take a Glock tool or a little small screwdriver, any type of thing like that, to push those pins out with and completely tear them down. Pretty easy to change parts in and out and stuff. And they are pretty easy to tear down and clean or change parts on and stuff. Which is one thing I like about them. And being this is a 19X and a 19, you can actually swap the slides and frames, which I wouldn't normally do, but it's still just pretty cool that you can do that. That way if something happened to, you know, say a firing pin broke or anything like that on the slide of one, and then something broke, the trigger broke or something like that in the bottom of the other one, and you just need to swap out really quick, you can do that and get back in the fight. But I really think as far as a prepper gun or long-term pistol, Glock is really hard to beat. They're very simple, very reliable. I've never had any trouble out of either one of these. Granted, I haven't put 10,000 rounds through them yet, but I don't see any reason for them not to be. But anyway, that's my take on it. See ya.